You were multitasking when you were up there at camp. You were also keeping an eye on some 2018 kids who I believe were at the camp. I don't know if they were working the camp, but you got a chance to check out Judge Culpepper, an incoming, or he's already on campus, I guess, or will be on campus soon.
Right.
Defensive lineman, I believe a tackle, maybe an end, and also Will Levis, the young quarterback that's part of the 2018 class. Your thoughts on those two guys?
Judge Culpepper looks like a guy that could play today. I mean, he looks impressive. I know he was listed at whatever he was listed at when he got, when Penn State announced its signing class. He has to be at least 10 to 15 pounds bigger than that, maybe 20. I mean, he just looks well put together. He could be maybe not an every down player for Penn State by the end of the season, but I would be stunned if he wasn't a guy that you could use, 3-4 times a game in the middle. I mean, obviously the size is one thing, and the technique and everything else will have to come along with it, for that to be the case. But with him and PJ Mustipher, it would be stunning to see. It would be really surprising to me if Penn State didn't get at least one of those guys a ton of reps early on, and both of the reps by the end of the season. I mean, they just looked the part at this point in time. They seem to be progressing well. And then Levis Bob, I mean, he's obviously not going to be needed this year unless things really go badly, and Penn State would have 3 injuries at quarterback. But he looks a little bit bigger than I think most thought. He certainly looks bigger than he was when he was considered the most athletic quarterback at the New Jersey opening testing a year ago. So I think he retained that athleticism, and this is a good group. And Daniel George, the receiver from Maryland, just got on the campus as well.
Okay, I think your comments on Culpepper are interesting because it already kind of feels like PJ Mustipher is another kid that, even though he didn't go through spring drills as a true freshman, has a chance to play in the fall too if he can have a strong August. I'm just wondering, Sean Spencer has 2 guys he really likes as the starters at defensive tackle, and Kevin Givens and Robert Windsor, but it seems like it's going to be almost a big August for Coach Spencer because he's going to try and get these 2 guys up to speed and continue to develop Damian Barber and Fred Hansard. They really like to play 4 or 5 tackles during the course of the game, and it sounds to me like physically, if these guys can get them ready to go, I just wonder how interesting of an August it's going to be for Coach Spencer.
Yeah, I have to think that depth is obviously an issue. I think most the Corey Bolts transfer obviously was not necessarily out of left field because it was. We talked last week that when he was never a guy mentioned during the fall, the spring, and when that doesn't happen, and you're supposed to be one of the up and coming guys, it sort of throws a red flag up there. However, it does take one of the guys that we thought might be in the picture out of it, and that could allow one of these guys, if not both, to jump in.
Okay, 4th down here on